I never thought I'd be posting here, but I don't know where else to turn. I feel like my entire life has unraveled in the span of a single night, and I need unbiased perspectives before I make a decision I can't take back. For context, I, 32F, have been with my husband, James, 35M, for almost 10 years. We met in our early 20s, built a life together, and now have a 4-year-old son. Until last night, I thought we had a solid marriage, good communication, a deep bond, and what I thought was mutual respect. But something happened that has shattered that illusion, and I don't know how to pick up the pieces. James's best friend, Connor, 36M, has been a constant presence in our lives. They've been inseparable since college, and while I always got along with Connor, I never felt particularly close to him. He was the charming, outgoing type, while James was the steady, reliable one. Last night, we hosted a small gathering with some close friends at our house. Nothing fancy, just drinks, music, and unwinding after a long week. Everything was going fine until I stepped outside for some air around midnight. That's when I overheard the conversation that flipped my world upside down. Connor and James were talking on the back patio, unaware that I was just around the corner. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but the moment I heard my name, I froze. Connor, dude, I don't know how you've kept this up for so long. James laughs. It's not that hard, man. You just gotta be careful. Connor, and you don't feel guilty at all? James, what she doesn't know won't hurt her. My heart stopped. My mind raced. What the hell were they talking about? Was James hiding something? Connor sighed. Man, I know you think you've got it under control, but secrets like that, they don't stay buried forever. One day she's going to find out. And when she does, you're gonna lose everything. James's response? A laugh. A goddamn laugh. Nah, she trusts me too much. She'll never find out. At that point, I was shaking. I felt sick, like my body was rejecting reality. My hands were ice cold, my stomach twisted in knots. I had to know what they were talking about. So I stepped out. The moment James saw me, his face drained of color. Connor went stiff, his eyes darting between us. I didn't even have words, I just stood there, staring at my husband, waiting for an explanation. Waiting for him to tell me it wasn't what I thought. But he said nothing. Connor broke the silence first. I should go. And just like that, he left me alone with the man I thought I knew. What followed was the ugliest, most gut-wrenching fight of my life. At first, James tried to downplay it. Babe, you're overreacting. We were just talking. Connor was making a big deal out of nothing. I demanded to know the truth. What was he hiding? What wouldn't I find out? Then came the gaslighting. You always jump to conclusions. This is why I don't tell you things, because you twist them. When I wouldn't back down, he switched to anger. Fine. You want to know? I've been sleeping with someone else. I felt the world drop out from beneath me. It wasn't just an affair. It wasn't a one-time mistake. James admitted to having a 4-year-long affair with a woman he met through work. It started before our son was even born. The worst part? He didn't even seem remorseful. His justification? I love you, but you changed after having the baby. You're different. I needed something else. I can't describe the level of betrayal, the pure rage that coursed through me. This wasn't just a mistake. This was years of lying. This was calculated deception. And worst of all, he had zero intentions of stopping. He was never going to tell me. I threw him out. I don't even know if I was screaming or crying or both, but I shoved him out the front door and locked it behind him. I barely slept last night. I called my sister, who came over immediately, and she's been helping me keep it together. My phone has been blowing up with texts from James apologies, justifications, desperate pleas not to destroy our family over a mistake. Mistake? This isn't a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk at the store. A mistake is saying something hurtful in the heat of an argument. This was a choice. Over and over and over again. I don't even know why I'm posting. Maybe I just need someone to tell me I'm not crazy. Maybe I need to hear from people who have been through this. I loved this man. I built a life with this man. And now I don't know what's left. What do? I didn't expect this to blow up the way it did. First off, thank you to everyone who commented, messaged, and shared their own stories. I read every single response, and the overwhelming support has been both heartbreaking and empowering. So, where am I now? I spoke with a lawyer this morning. I'm gathering financial documents and making a plan. My sister is letting my son and me stay with her for a while, which I'm beyond grateful for. As for James, he showed up at my sister's house last night, begging me to hear him out. My sister was ready to throw hands. I stood my ground. He tried every tactic: denial, guilt-tripping, even blaming me for being distant after childbirth. But I saw through all of it. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know one thing. I deserve better. Thank you all again for giving me the strength to see that. Divorce papers have been served. I won't say it's been easy, but it's been liberating. James is furious, of course, claims I'm overreacting, that I should have given him another chance, but I don't owe him anything. For the first time in years, I feel free, and that is priceless. To anyone reading this who is in a similar situation, you are stronger than you think. Sending love to all of you. I, 24M, met Daniel, 27M, a few weeks ago, and things moved fast. He was charming, attentive, and had a way of making me feel like the center of his world. At first, it felt amazing, but what started as flattery and passion quickly spiraled into something suffocating. Now, I need to get out before it's too late. Daniel and I hung out a few times, and it seemed fine. He'd always say things like, "I can tell you're different. I don't just let anyone in." He'd compliment me in this intense way, as if we were fated to meet. Then the control started creeping in. Small things at first, casually questioning my plans, making comments about my availability. "Why so late? What were you really doing?" When I'd say I was busy, he'd joke, "You don't gotta lie to me, babe. I can smell a lie a mile away." I brushed it off, but it left me uneasy. One night, he came over, we hung out, fooled around a little, but I asked him to leave since I had things to do. He left but then started texting me like he was owed an explanation. "Daniel, I hope I didn't send too many red flags. I just feel like you were over it all of a sudden. I don't want to misread the vibe." "Daniel, and why so late? You got a busy evening till 9? Thought we were gonna nap together." I reassured him, but his tone shifted. "Daniel, just keep it 100 with me. No games. I can tell when someone's lying to me. Don't do that." Lying? I hadn't lied about anything. Still, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. The following week, we made plans, but I started feeling uneasy. The way he pushed for more time, the way he made me feel like I owed him my presence, it didn't sit right. When I told him I wanted to reschedule, he wasn't happy. "Daniel, damn, a whole week? What are you risking? That's just an excuse. You don't have anything to do, you just don't want to see me." At this point, I started feeling trapped. He was making it seem like I was the problem for wanting space. The way he said, "I can tell when someone's playing games," wasn't a joke anymore, it was a warning. One night, he showed up uninvited. I had mentioned that I might be free later, but I never confirmed. At 8:45 p.m., I got a text. "Daniel, outside. Come on." I looked out my window. He was parked across the street. My stomach dropped. I texted back, "I didn't say tonight was definite." "Daniel, I knew you'd do this. It's fine. Just let me in. No excuses." Excuses? I didn't owe him anything. Panic set in. My heart pounded as I realized. He wasn't asking. He was telling me. I turned off my lights and didn't respond. He called, then again. Then again. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. A voicemail. "You know, I thought you were better than this. I was really good to you. But hey, lesson learned, right? Have a nice life." Silence. Then another text. "Wait until I run into you again. That was 2 weeks ago. I blocked him, warned mutual friends, and changed my routine. A friend of mine swears she saw his car parked near my gym a few nights ago. I don't think he's let this go. And honestly, I'm scared. Okay, things just got worse. A few nights ago, I woke up at 2 a.m. to my phone buzzing, unknown number. I didn't answer. The voicemail? Heavy breathing. Then, "Hope you're sleeping well, sweet pea." That was his nickname for me. I don't know how he got my new number. I'm filing a report tomorrow. I'm done playing nice. Hey Reddit, 16F never thought I'd be writing something like this, but after today I need advice, support, or just to get this off my chest. I don't know how to process what happened. Maybe writing it down will make it clearer. For the past few weeks, I've had this nagging cough and some pain under my ribs. Nothing crazy, but enough that my grandma insisted I go see our family doctor, Dr. L. He's been my family's doctor for years. She even delivered me when I was born. He's an older guy, about 60, always serious and professional. I never got a bad vibe from him until today. I went in with my grandma. It was just the three of us in the office. He asked the usual questions, then had me sit on the exam table while he listened to my lungs from the back. Standard procedure. But then he told me to unhook my bra because it was in the way. That was odd. He's never asked me to do that before. Last time I had a checkup, he listened to my heart and lungs without any of this. I hesitated, but I did as he asked, keeping my bra on but unhooked. My grandma was sitting nearby, but from where she was, she wouldn't have been able to see what he was doing. Then it happened. At first, I thought he was just adjusting the stethoscope, but his hands were too close, way too close. Then he just grabbed me, fully. Not in a medical way. Not in a I need to check something way. Just a full deliberate touch. My brain short-circuited. My body locked up. It happened twice, his hands moving in a way that sent alarms screaming through my head. I wanted to say something, to push him away, to yell, but I just sat there, frozen. He didn't even act strange, just moved on like nothing happened, like this was normal. Maybe that was the scariest part. Afterward, I rushed to get dressed, barely hearing what he was saying about some tests I needed. My grandma thanked him like it was a normal appointment. I felt sick, but I still couldn't say anything. I just needed to get out of there. The moment we left the building, I felt like throwing up. I replayed everything in my head, trying to convince myself I had imagined it, but I know what happened, and I know it wasn't normal. I couldn't sit with this alone, so I told my parents as soon as I got home. I was scared they'd dismiss it, but they didn't. My dad was furious, my mom was crying, and they both immediately started talking about going to the police. But that's where I feel stuck. Dr. L is respected in our town. He runs a small practice, no nurses or other doctors around. It's just him. There were no cameras, no proof. It's my word against his, and I keep wondering, will anyone believe me? I keep hearing my grandma's voice in my head, thanking him like nothing was wrong. What if people think I made it up? What if nothing comes of it and he just gets away with it? We decided to report him. We're gathering everything we can, looking up how to handle this legally. But I can't shake the fear that he's done this before, that I wasn't the first, that if nothing happens, I won't be the last. I already changed doctors. I'm never going back there, but I feel so disgusting, so violated. And the worst part, I still have to go through those tests he ordered. Another doctor, another office. And I don't know if I'll ever feel safe in a medical setting again. I don't know what I'm hoping for by posting this. Maybe validation that I'm not crazy. Maybe reassurance that reporting him is the right thing to do. Maybe just someone to tell me I'm not alone. Has anyone else ever been in this situation? How did you handle it? First of all, thank you. I never expected so many people to respond, but your support has been overwhelming. I read every single comment, every message, and it helped me feel less alone. We officially filed a report. It wasn't easy, and honestly, I'm still scared. The police took it seriously, but they were clear that without physical evidence or other victims coming forward, it could be tough to prove. That made me feel even worse. How many other girls or women has he done this to? And how many, like me, just froze and walked away, afraid to speak? After filing the report, things got complicated. Someone must have tipped Dr. L off, because within a day, people started talking. Small town gossip spreads like wildfire. My parents started getting calls from extended family members telling them we were making a mistake, that we were overreacting. That Dr. L was a good man and had been treating our family for years. Then, the bombshell. My mom's best friend called her and said, in a hushed voice, "You need to talk to name redacted. Turns out I wasn't the first." Another girl, same story, same doctor, but she never reported it. She was too scared, too young. She blamed herself, thought maybe she imagined it, just like I almost did. But after hearing what happened to me, she finally spoke up. And then another. And another? 4 girls, all within the past 10 years. I feel sick just writing this. Now, with multiple reports, the police are finally really investigating, but I can't shake this feeling that it's still not enough. How many others stayed silent? How many are still staying silent? I don't know how this will end. Maybe he'll finally face consequences. Maybe he'll talk his way out of it, like he probably has before. I just know I did the right thing. If you're reading this and something like this has happened to you, please don't stay silent. You're not crazy. You're not imagining it, and you're not alone. Thank you, Reddit, for everything. I, 33, am emotionally exhausted and don't know what to do anymore. My husband, M35, and I have been together for a long time. He's always been emotionally distant, but it's gotten worse so cold that now I feel like a ghost living in his home. Whenever I try to express hurt, he shuts down or gets angry. I've learned that if I speak up, I lose whatever little peace or connection we have, so I've started swallowing my pain just to survive. Some recent incidents broke something in me. He went on a trip while I was in serious pain from a PCOS flare-up. I went to the doctor alone and was told my cyst was large and painful. The doctor suggested surgery if it worsens, which scared me. While on a call with him, I was explaining the diagnosis when he cut me off mid-sentence and said, "Okay, I'll talk later." I told him this wasn't okay, but after that, he never called me the whole week. Just sent occasional, "How are you?" texts that felt like a formality. I found out more about his trip from his Instagram stories than from him directly. When he returned and I asked why he didn't call, he said, "You were already angry. No point ruining my vacation." I told him that deeply hurt me, and he exploded, called me mentally unstable, and said, "I have no emotions for you. Don't expect anything. If this relationship dies, so be it. I won't put any effort into it. You don't deserve to be spoken to normally. Your demands never stop. I can't do this anymore." In a panic, I apologized and promised I wouldn't trouble him again. Later, we were supposed to go on a trip with friends, but I caught the flu. He went alone, which is fine, but didn't call me once in 5 days. Didn't ask if I was at my parents' or home. Just one, "How are you?" text per day, because friends asked about me. No real concern. I've been handling everything at home, errands, chores, my health alone. I haven't demanded anything, just wanted basic emotional presence. But even that seems like too much to ask. I often wonder, am I overthinking? Am I victimizing myself? Should I just stay cheerful around him like he prefers? Every time I've brought up an issue, he's gotten angry. And out of fear that he'll leave or worse, because of days-long silent treatment, I've broken down, apologized, and promised to never bring things up again, just for the normalcy to return. So I've started emotionally detaching. I don't tell him about my day, my plans, or house matters. I mirror his energy, and oddly, he seems more comfortable now. He hasn't noticed the shift. Hasn't asked. Even when his family asked why I seemed distant, he said, "Nothing's wrong. I haven't done anything." That shattered me. After everything, he still believes he's done nothing wrong. I thought I could stay this way, quietly detached and still in the marriage. But some days like today, it just hurts too much. I feel like I can't do this anymore. I'm scared. I feel gutted and tense. I want to know where I stand because each day I stay distant. It feels like he enjoys the silence while I die quietly inside. I don't want to fight. I just want clarity. How do I bring this up without him getting angry or dismissing me again? Or should I just keep pretending, keep fading?